Hi, I'm A.C.Strange, and this is the Bad Movie Show, episode 12, the Sick Chick Flick Show. Now, I've never been one for the sappy, romantic chick flick, just not my style. But what I do like are badass babes behaving badly. You know the movies where girls kick a lot of ass, they do bad things, they get dressed up, they're just naughty. You know what I'm talking about. Sick chick flicks. They're great. There are a few killers and psychos in these movies, but they're more like grindhouse or girlsploitation films than horror movies. So I call them my sick chick flicks. They're awesome. So, keeping in the tradition of Faster Pussycat Kill Kill, Reformed Schoolgirls from Hell, The Big Dollhouse, Heathers, and Jawbreaker, I'm presenting these movies to you. And this particular show is dedicated to all my badass bitches out there. I love you all. So let's get sick chicks and let's get started. First up, BITCHSLAP, 2010, unrated bombshell pictures written by Rick Jacobson and Eric Grundman. Directed by Rick Jacobson, starring Julia Voss, Erin Cummings, America Olivo, and Michael Hurst, who played Aeolus from Hercules. And special mention to Zoe Bell, who was a stunt coordinator. She did all the stunts for the bride in Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, and she played herself in Death Proof. So she's badass. I'm a big fan of hers. I'll watch anything she's in, whether she's doing stunts or in front of the camera. So this is a Zoe Bell movie, so that's great. Okay, so this starts with 3 super hot, sexy girls in the middle of the desert, and they have a man in the trunk of their car, and they go out to this trailer in the middle of the desert looking for some stolen diamonds. While out there, they get into like a water fight, like, oh, you got me so wet. Oh. They get muddy, they get into fights and have sex with each other. And while this is all going on, there are flashbacks that are all connected to what happened this one night at a place called the Glory Hole, which we see at the end of the movie. It's pretty cool. Everybody's afraid of someone named Pinky, who's kind of like Kaiser Soze. So in this movie, there is very, very interesting dialogue. Camaro's my favorite. She's really like hot and tough and badass, and she curses like Yosemite Sam would if he was an angry lesbian. So that's worth watching on its own. There's a really great 2-part fight scene in this that really made me rearrange everything on my greatest fight scene list, and yeah, that's also worth watching. There's explosions. There are even these 2 perverted characters named Hotwire and Kinky. Just, you know what? Put this on your list just to see them. So I'm going to give this a 3.5 and a buy it. I happen to dig this movie. There's a lot of pin-up situations. I happen to love pin-ups and I collect them. And these girls are kind of like, they're models and they're put in these pin-up situations. And like they look like one of the girls is dressed up as like a prisoner, but she has her hair done in victory rolls. It's really cute. If you're into pin-ups, badass bitches beating the crap out of each other, and just a lot of explosions, this movie's for you. If I was a 15-year-old boy, this would be my favorite movie, and this would be in my DVD player right now being watched. Alright? There is more cleavage than I've ever seen in my life, and I have boobs. Okay? So this is naughty and fun. It's a 3.5 and a buy it. And this was recommended to me by a good friend of mine, Miss Riss. And when she recommended this to me, she said that this movie reminded her of me. So I take the compliment, girl. Thank you. That was a good one. Thanks, Riss. Keep them coming. Next up, you know, usually when I meet somebody and I go over to their house and I try to get to know them, I look through their video collection. And one of the biggest surprises I've ever had is finding this Freeway in most people's collections. I like that. This is Freeway 1996, rated R, from Republic Pictures, written and directed by Matthew Bright, starring Reese Witherspoon, Kiefer Sutherland, and Brooke Shields, and Dan Hedaya, who is Nick Tortelli from Cheers. He's in this. And this is Rebecca Lutz, and she's an illiterate girl who gets into some trouble, and she goes on a long road trip to find her grandmother after her mother gets arrested. And this is like a cracked out white trash version of Little Red Riding Hood with a big bad wolf and everything. So this is great, fun, badass, gets a 4 and a recited rating because I can. So this is definitely awesome. But this is not the movie that I want to review. I just want to say kudos to you that own it. This is the movie I want to review tonight. Freeway 2, Confessions of a Trick Baby, 1999, rated R. Full Moon Pictures, written and directed by Matthew Bright, starring Natasha Lyonne, David Alan Grier, Vincent Gallo, and Maria Celedonio as Cyclona. So, in this movie, white girl, actually her name is Crystal, but everybody calls her white girl, has just been sentenced to 25 years in prison that she'll be starting when she turns 18. But until then, she's put in a juvenile psychiatric institution for girls with eating disorders. While there, she meets a sexual psychopath named Cyclona who has problems. Girl, she got so many problems. Anyway, she gets white girl to help her escape. And they go on this crazy road trip to Mexico to find Cyclona's childhood hero, Sister Gomez. And while they're in Mexico, they find that freedom is a lot more complicated than they dreamed of, okay? They find themselves in way more trouble in Mexico than they ever did in the institution. So this is a white trash cracked out version of Goldilocks and the Three Bears and Hansel and Gretel if they were killer lesbians, okay? This is crazy. And just, you know, there's a lot of puking in this. There's a girl on girl sex montage. There's a woman with a big penis. And there's a boy with goat legs. This is a bizarre, demented, fun, kick-ass. I happen to really love this movie. I'm going to give this a 4.5 and a buy it rating, especially to all of you that already own Freeway. You might not have known that this was out. I love Freeway. It's one of my favorite movies, but I live for this. This one is definitely on my top 5 of my favorite movies, and I recommend this. So if you really like the first one, you know, or if you haven't seen either one of them, put them on your list because they're worth seeing. So, yay. And, you know, by the way, I miss Natasha Lyonne. Wherever you are, girl, I miss you. Come back. I want to see more movies with you. They were awesome. Last but not least, and my treat for the evening, ready? Switchblade Sisters, 1975, rated R, Rolling Thunder Pictures, screenplay by FX Mayer, directed by Jack Hill, starring Robbie Lee, Joanne Nail, Monica Gale, and this also has Don Stark in it from that 70s show. He plays Bob, the neighbor with the afro. So this is about the Dagger Devs, who are old ladies of the Silver Daggers, which are the toughest gang in town, right? And one day, the Dagger Devs rob this guy, and this tough girl, Maggie, gets caught up with them, and they all get arrested, and they go to juvie. Maggie holds her own and earns the Devs' respect and becomes a Dagger Dev. And she and Lace, who's the leader of the Devs, become very close very quickly. And Lace asks Maggie to do something for her that gets completely messed up. And afterwards, Lace thinks that Maggie's after her man. Okay? And with Lace and Patch, who's Lace's right hand, they devise a plan to eliminate Maggie. At the same exact time, the Silver Daggers are at war with this gang led by Krebs, who's a total dirtbag, and things get super violent and complicated, and Dominic, the leader of the Silver Daggers, gets killed. Okay? The Debs are pissed off. They want revenge, but the Silver Daggers won't step up. So they beat the crap out of them, kick them out of the gang, and prepare to go to war with Crabs as the Jezebels. This movie is bad ass. There's lots of face slapping, there's lots of fighting, there's lots of just girls being tough and badass. I love this movie. This is one of my most favorite movies. This is in the top 3. I hide this movie because I don't believe that this movie should be played without me being there. That's how much I love this movie. This gets a 5, people, a 5, and a recited rating. If you haven't seen it, put it on your list. This is one of the toughest movies there are. And these are chicks, dude, and they're just kicking mad ass. I live for this. So, yeah, there's just a few good lines in it, and my favorite line is, "We're the Jezebels, fatso." So, yes, this gets a 5 and a recited rating. And if you wanted to know, if you're a Quentin Tarantino fan, he has reproduced or redistributed some of his favorite movies that have inspired him to make the movies he makes. So if you wanted to see anything that he likes, usually you can find his face on some of his most favorite movies. So this is worth seeing. Okay? Put that on your list, please. So that's it for me tonight. What did you think about tonight's show? Do you know any really great, sick chick flicks? Have you seen any of the movies that I reviewed tonight? What do you think? I'd really like to know. Until then, watch more movies. I'm A.C.Strange, and this is a Bad Movie Show. Thank you. Good night.